Okay, up to this point, we've covered biomes and biome mask and everything to deal with biome mask, vegetation areas, vegetation lines, you name it, we've covered it. Uh, Biomes and biome mask are great when you've got big areas of trees, big areas of grass. It's wonderful for the randomization that you can get with that. But what happens when you've got a course that doesn't really have a lot of big biomes and biome mass, and it's got a lot more of these individual trees? So, like this course has several areas that I can do with my biome mask, which I've already done. And it's also got a ton of little individual trees planted along holes. So, where this comes in is something called quick plant. And that's what this video is going to focus on. It's going to focus on quick plant and what all it can do and kind of how to use it. So quick plant is nothing more than going along and quickly planting individual trees. We can use the satellite view for this. So we pull up a satellite view. Hopefully you have some good photos or overhead flyovers you can use for references. And then you can go along and you can actually see where the trees are. So here, let's see, we can plant any item in any biome that we want. So we could go into our main tree biome. We can plant any of these trees. Tall oak. We can plant a medium oak. We can plant a forest beech. But what happens if we've got a tree that is not in one of our current biomes? Well, for that, we want to create a separate biome. Anything you quick plant needs to be in a biome. So what I typically do and what most people do is create what's called a quick plant biome. In this quick plant biome, let's go to it. Let's go biomes. So here's my quick plant biome. You still have to assign a biome type. Doesn't really matter, just one that you can find, know where it is. The sort order is not going to be important on this biome because we're not going to use it with a mask, so we don't have to worry about it overwriting or something overwriting it. This is going to be strictly individual items. You can go into Edit Biome, and just like before, just like any biome, you can add an item. Let's go tree. And just say that tree, add. And it's going to add in to our quick plant biome. So now we've got the forest tree, and we've got this tree that I've already been playing with. You would do all the same stuff, shaders, position, billboard. So the position tab on this is going to be a little bit different, and that's what we're going to deal with now. First, let's show you how to plant, how to delete. So let's get back into quick plant. Quick plant. To quick plant an item, you have it highlighted over here, whatever you're trying to do. We can go to main tree, tall oak, and it'll plant an oak. To delete that, you hold shift down and left click, and it'll delete it. You can just drag over it. It will not delete another type of tree because it's not selected. So the only thing it's going to delete is this tall oak. And one of these was a tall oak. There we go. So you can see it disappears. To activate one of the items, to make it your active item, Control, and it brings up these little green target circles of any quick planted item. It only has a range of about 20 to 30 yards so that it doesn't become a performance drain. So you have to get a little close, hold down Control, hit the target circle. That becomes your active item. Then if I wanted to delete it, I left click anywhere. Now it's the active item. Hold down Shift, and you can delete it. All right, let's make this one active. So we can do a lot of things with quick plant. We can use these little sliders for rotation, scale, and to move. I don't like using the sliders. I like using the little icons up here and you can change, rotate, scale, and move. And then we can move it up and down, side to side. We can scale it. You can scale the whole thing with the middle white. You can scale just the height or just the width. So you can stretch this thing out. You have to be kind of careful on how much you change the actual shape of the tree, because it can start to look a little funny if you really change it too much. So mostly you're going to play with this middle one that scales the entire tree, and then maybe do a little bit of tweaking, here. When you move these, all of these numbers change, and this tells you the scale, the current scale of how this thing is distributed. You can change your height. That'll show right here. So we're at -0.5, -1. Let's say quick planting, and you've got this thing, you've got a bunch of these that are going to be the same surface relation. They're going to be sunk down a little bit. They're going to be the same scale. You can lock scale. You can lock surface relation. And then every time you plant one, it's going to be the same scale and the same surface relation. If you like this and you're going to use this throughout the course, you can save it under this quick set. Save, give it a name, whatever you want, and save it. And then you can come back to that at any point. So you're quick planting along and you're like, I want to do one of those oak mediums at the same thing. You can bring this back up and it'll bring all of those numbers back up for you. You unclick this, it's going to bring it back to our normal right there. If we get our drop down, then it should, in theory. No, that's not working. I hadn't played a lot with that, to be honest. But that is something that is supposed to work, a quick set. I haven't done a lot with it. I really don't know anybody that's done a lot with it. I just kind of learned that for this video. But that's the concept of it, is to save the lock rotation and the surface relation. But you can do the same thing just by locking it, and then it plants along. Let's talk about the brush size. So the brush size, you can see it kind of highlighted there. There's a little white thing there in the middle. The white little thing is what's going to plant. So it's got one white line. I click, it plants one. You can make your brush bigger. It's going to plant a bunch. Shift, we'll get rid of all of those. You can make the brush bigger and you can change your sample size. So if these are the same, let's make that one close. It's still only going to plant one, no matter how big that brush is, if these numbers are the same. If this number gets a little bit smaller, it's going to plant a couple more. So there's 4, and they'll space them out. So if you want 4 trees close together, you're going to move this smaller, and you have to make this one smaller than that. And it'll plant 4 a little closer together. If you want 4 way spread out, you're going to make this number really big. So you got a big brush now. Then you're going to make this number close to it. So that's got, what's that? I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, it looks like. So if you wanted to plant a big area, quick plant, you can do that. It's going to take these values from, you can see how they're different sizes. It's going to take it from, what was that? That was an oak, wasn't it? Let's see. Let's go. That was my main biome. I believe it was the oak. But it's going to take the values from here. Is how it's going to find that. Let's get back into quick plant. And to change this item, we're going to control, click on the little target circle, and then that will bring up whatever that is. and I can hold shift down, get rid of all of those. Good. All right. Change this back to 1. Change this back to 1. Enter. Now I'm back to 1 item. All right. So that's got our scale. Let's look at rotate real quick because rotate can get a little tricky. Rotate, hit my little target circle, so it's active. These are your rotations. You have to make sure that you're on it. So see how it turns kind of white? It's a color. It turns white when you're on it. And you can click and hold and drag, and you can rotate. If you miss it, don't get freaked out. If you miss it, then it's not active anymore. You have to hit control, hit your little target, and it'll get back active. And then make sure you're on it where it turns white, and you can rotate it around. So we got rotate, we've got the position, we've got the scale, talked about the lock scale, lock rotation. One thing I will use this for when I'm doing my quick plant items. So if I go back to quick plant, and I've got this Conway, and the reason I've got the Conway is it is going to be very similar to this live oak that I'm going to be planting in Unity. So this live oak has moss. I want to be able to plant something in Arborist that's similar, where if I wanted something that didn't have the moss. So what we can do, and when I do my quick plant items, let's jump over. So we can go from quick plant to edit biome right here. And sometimes, and I don't know, this is just a little glitch. I need to talk to All Arms about it. Sometimes when you jump in, it's not the right item. So if that happens, change your biome real quick and change it back to quick plant. And now it's got your item in there. So we're dealing with this Conway. When I set these up in quick plant, I set it at 1, min and max. And the reason I do that is, let's set my offset at 0. 0, 0. So I want that at 0. I want these at 1. You can jump back into quick plant right here, and we're going to put 1 out. And the reason I do it at 1 is because now I can change my scale, and it's all based on a 1 scale. So if I go in here and I hit my tree, so now I can play with the scale and know how to adjust it in my biome. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And I already know that I want to make it bigger. I want to make it a little squattier. So I'm going to take my height, kind of take my height down, because that's the way these live oaks look. A little bit kind of shorter, fatter kind of oak. Make that just a little bit bigger. Right there. Okay. So I've got close here 1.7 and 1.45. So I can take these numbers, go back into my edit biome, 1.7 and 1.45. Go back to position, and this scale multiplier I can put at 1.7, 1.45, 1.7. Enter. And then when I go back to quick plant, now everywhere I plant this, it should be almost identical. All right. So now we've got that done. But if we look at this tree has a lot shorter trunk, and then it splits off, where this one's a little bit taller. So to fix that, I'm going to highlight my item, hit my little target circle. I'm going to change to my move tool. And over here, when I start dropping this, you can see this number. So if I drop that down to right in that area, let's back up a little. So now we've got a tree that is very similar to this live oak. I can take this number, negative 2.6 probably could go a hair more. Let's go negative 2.7. Go back to my biome, go back to my position, and on the position offset, I can go negative 2.7, enter, and now go back to Quick Plant, and everywhere I put one of these trees, it's now going to be sunk down. And you can see how that one rotated a little bit so it doesn't change the rotation. So that way they're all going to be a little bit different, but they're all going to be scaled the same and surface relation is going to be the same. So we get a little bit different tree from the rotation, but the scale and the surface relation is going to be the same. And then if I wanted to come in, you can come in and alter this one a little bit more, make that one a little bit, raise that one a little bit, and then we got them a little bit different. But I always like to get some kind of starting point when I'm doing quick plant, especially on items like that. Now, if I'm doing a quick plant of an item that's in a biome, I do not want to change any of that stuff. If I change it, it's going to change it in the biome. So if you're wanting to do something on a tree that's in this main biome and you're wanting to change it, you're going to go back to Edit Biomes. You're going to go to that main biome, and you're going to use that function that we used before. So we're going to take that tall oak, we're going to copy it, and we're going to move it to the quick plant biome, paste it. Then we can alter this if we want to. So let's quick plant that, put it there. Let's say for quick planting, we wanted to make it a little bit smaller scale. Let's go activate it. Control, click my target. It's now active. Say I wanted to make it a little bit squattier. So if I look at 1.6, 1.3, and go into my Edit Biomes, Quick Plant, find that oak, position, what was it, 1.6 and 1.3, 1.6, enter, Quick Plant. And it's still going to have the range, so it's going to be different heights, but the surface, the scale is going to change. So see how it's a little bit shorter at the top? So you can do a lot of different functions with it. There's a ton of stuff in Quick Plant that you can play with. Let's see, that's most everything there. Let me pause real quick and make sure I've got everything covered. Okay, so that covers pretty much in Quick Plant. Like everything else in Arborist, it's one of those things you just have to get in and play with. Like a lot of these things I showed you, I just kind of played around with and figured out. And that's the best way to do just about everything course building, is to touch every knob, every button, every slider, play with it, see what it does, and then use it and kind of come up with your own way on how to do things. But that's going to kind of get you covered as far as planning. It's got your edit biomes, your create biomes, your biome mask. Now you've got Quick Plant, and you can start planning away and getting your course started. I've got a few more videos in this series that I'll get into. The next one will be how to plant in Unity and how to kind of go back and forth between Arborist and Unity. And there's some really cool stuff that's in the Arborist program that helps with that. So until the next video, we'll see you next time.